I'm life and business coach Samantha Sifring, and this is the Online Business Building Mamas podcast, where you learn how to build a wildly successful business from home while raising kids. Welcome to another episode of the Badass Mother podcast. Today, I am kicking off a series about making full-time income from home as a mom. I've been thinking about this a lot over the past couple of weeks as I've been reflecting on my business and my message, what makes me unique in the marketplace and among business coaches, and also the phase of life that I'm in. So, my youngest, my baby, is going to kindergarten full day this year. And this is the time of my life that I thought I would be looking for jobs. I thought that I would be getting back into the workforce, maybe working at a university or going back to the drawing board with my counseling career and starting up a practice maybe in counseling. I had a lot of potential options and a lot of time spent thinking that I was going to do that once all the kids were back in school. And what I've realized is that I'm not doing that, and I'm not in a position where I need or want to do that because I have created an opportunity for myself at home doing something I am so passionate about and so good at on my own terms that makes me way more than any of those options would. It's so crazy now whenever job opportunities pop up, if I just see like an organization that I'm involved with and they're hiring and I see these salaries now and I'm like, oh, I would not do that. I make so much more from home now. So what I really wanted to do over the next 5 weeks is to share with you how to do that. That is my thing. I help other moms to build really profitable businesses from home so they don't have to go get a real job if they don't want to, or so they can come home from that job if they want to. And what I really love about what I do is that I help these mamas find something that is built on their passions and their knowledge and their skills and their interests and abilities and all of that. There's a lot of opportunities out there where it is one size fits all and you circle trying to fit in the square, and that is just not how I think we're going to live our most fulfilled lives. So today I'm going to be talking to you specifically about that piece of it. So clarity around what you offer and what your skill is. And this can be something that evolves, like when I first started, I was doing life coaching and now I'm doing business coaching. And I have another client who started doing VA work and now she's doing coaching. I've had a lot of clients who come to me doing one thing and doing it pretty well and making a solid income, but wanting to pivot. And I really wanted to bring that up to you for you to know what we talk about today won't be set in stone forever. Sometimes we feel this pressure to choose the thing. And I've even had people do consult calls with me and consider working with me and feel like, oh, I can't work with you yet until I figure it out. And it just makes me so worried when I hear that. I'm like, how are you going to figure it out on your own if you haven't already? You need help from a coach so you can decide and move on. So hopefully this episode will be some of that help for you. And that first thing you need to know is that this is not an end of the world decision. You can always change. You can always pivot. But it is really good for you to have clarity on this. It is really good for you to make an informed decision and make a decision for reasons that you love. Let's dive into this. I have been home with kids for almost 10 years now, and something that has been just as constant as making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and wiping up spilled milk is looking for ways to make money from home. Maybe you have faced the same dilemma that I have. There just don't seem to be a lot of legitimate options out there, or if it is legitimate, the pay is so low, it is barely worth the time. I really love to help moms with this because of what I went through trying to find my thing. You've probably heard me talk about it before. I did blogging. I had an Etsy shop. I did those click surveys. I did network marketing. I did sales. I did a lot of things that you find out there to do. And it took me a while before I found the real thing, my perfect fit. And I really want to help you cut out that time and know that there is just so much more for you than those options and whatever other weird things have popped up since then. I truly believe that there has never been a better time for us, moms in particular, and I think that it's just going to keep getting better. I feel like as moms for all of human history, we seem to have been presented with some pretty crappy options like stay home and make no money, or go to work and, spend that 9 to 5 time without your kids. And for some people, those options totally work. Like one of those two options makes them feel alive, makes them feel amazing. And then there's this other group of us who feel like neither of those options work. Why isn't there like a really high paying part-time job available to us? And for some of us there is, and I'm jealous of you, or I was before I started my business. I used to think that would be the best thing ever, and now I created my best thing. So we're good. So if you are interested in this, if you are ready to really take advantage of this best time and see how much better it can be, the first step is getting clarity on what you offer. These days, you can offer probably every skill online, on the internet. Maybe a few things you cannot offer, right? But so many things. And sometimes we just don't even realize it. So I have friends who are health coaches. I have friends who are lawyers and they give their services online. I have clients who are coaching on like every single topic under the sun. I have clients who are writers. I have clients who speak. I have clients who are graphic designers, who are web developers, who are marketing consultants and specialists, all kinds of things. You can really offer a lot of amazing, amazing services and skills out there on the internet now. So start to kind of open your mind to what might be possible as we talk about this. Today's episode is going to help you brainstorm and explore your options and then make a really powerful choice. First, I do want to talk about choices. So what you need to know is that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your choices, the quality of the decisions you make. I see a lot of women jump on the first opportunity offered to them, or the first thing that pops in their mind, or something that seems small and doable, or like the first thing they hear about. And these things often lead to really small profits. So when I was in network marketing, for instance, I was a leader in the company, but that added up to I think my highest month ever was like $2,000. And I know that's not everyone's experience, truly. Like, I know there's some of you who are like, I'm making way more than that. And that's totally fine. It's probably your perfect fit, right? But for me, that was not my perfect fit. And I felt like it was so hard to just have that $2,000 month. My average was $1,000, and it felt like probably way more work than I ever did for my full-time job that I had before. I also, with that Etsy shop, oh my gosh, my profit margins were terrible. And I also hated sewing. And I would make like a few dollars for each little like change purse that I would sew. And I would just really be like, how many change purses am I going to have to sew to make like any money that was really worth anything to make this worthwhile? So that was a short-lived Etsy shop. Would have been nice to do that math before. So if you're thinking about those types of businesses, really think about, how is this math going to work? That's kind of an important first step, right? You want to be doing something you love. You want to be doing something other people really want and there's a need or desire for. And you want to be sure the potential is there to make money. So really think that through. And then ask yourself, do you really want to make full-time income? Because I think a lot of us love this idea. Like, if we could just keep living our lives exactly the way we're doing it right now, but like be getting a full-time paycheck, that'd be amazing. But there is work involved, and that's kind of the dirty secret that a lot of us don't want to talk about, especially female business owners. This is like the taboo topic, right? Like, it's supposed to all be feminine energy and ease and flow. And don't you dare say the H word, hustle, because that is a dirty word, and we are not going to say it or acknowledge it. But the fact is, starting a business, a legitimate real business, takes actual work at the beginning. I'm sure there's some like unicorn stories out there, but for the vast majority of us, it takes effort. It takes hard work. It takes hustle and grind. Let me give you the caveat that it does not require you to give up sleep or to work 90-hour weeks or those kinds of things. The amount of time that you have to devote to it needs to be intentional. It needs to be focused. It needs to be getting shit done. But that does not have to be what you are doing every second of every day of your whole week, right? So the hustle, the grind is real within the hours that you were planning to work. I want to be really clear on that. For most of you, the things that you need to do to grow a business are not going to come naturally. They're not going to be flowing. If they did, you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast. So I think that you're probably not that type of person. You're probably that type of person who it feels like hustle and grind to be outside of your comfort zone, to be talking to people, to be networking, to be putting yourself out there, to be consistent in those things, right? Like, it's not that hard, but it feels much harder because of the drama we create around it and just the fact that it's not our norm and it's something new for us. And that is totally okay. All right. Do you want to make full-time income? Do you want what comes with that? Do you want a business or do you want a hobby? I have a whole podcast episode about this. You should go check it out if you're not sure, but just be really honest with yourself. I meet a lot of business owners, well, that's how they describe themselves, who are actually hobbyists and they're not owning it. And because they're not owning that this is a hobby instead of a business, they're in a lot of self-judgment around what they're not doing. I have done a lot of consult calls with these kinds of women where they have big goals. They just don't really want to do the work to create them. So then they're beating themselves up. And it's like, why do you have the goal of somebody who's all in on their business and wants to work at full time when that's not you? So just be really honest. Look yourself in the eye, in the mirror, be honest about what you really want and own that and let it be okay if it's different than what other people are doing or what your friends are doing or what people in Facebook groups are doing or what I'm doing. That is okay. It's your life. You get to decide. All right. I want to talk a little bit more about decisions. I think a lot of us have baggage when it comes to decision making, and this is something that I talk about on all of my consult calls now. So I've really made a lot of shifts in how I do my consult calls, and they have become super fun, but they have also become super focused on decision making. And the reason for this is that so many of us have all these stories about decisions. And I've been shocked with all the women that I've been talking to on my calls lately, what they think about their decision-making process. So as you're going through this, as you're thinking about what am I going to offer? What do I offer? Even if you already have a business, you probably have some drama around it. Every once in a while, you probably second guess it. You're probably trying to talk yourself out of it. This is all very normal. But I want to talk to you just a little bit about making these decisions. So I am totally in favor of making quick decisions because our brain resists decision making so much. It hates to be pinned down. I'm sure that you can think of some examples of this type thing in your life where you've had a decision to make and you have put it off for as long as possible. I know this is really kind of embarrassing, but also funny. 2 years ago, probably, I got 4 different paint colors to paint my master bathroom. And I was super excited. I am a gray paint person. I love a pale gray. So I got 4 different grays. I painted swatches all around my bathroom of the 4 different grays. And you guys, this was 2 years ago. I still have the swatches and now I don't even remember what colors they match because I just wasn't making a decision. And now it's been so long. I couldn't even tell you what color is what. I couldn't even tell you which one I like, literally still after looking at them for 2 years. So I want you to think about this too, what other decisions have you been putting off? So when I do these consult calls, I really try to have the person make a solid decision on the call, and it's totally okay if it's a no. And there's a lot of power in really owning a no. And part of our conversation is, what do you think your answer is? And then why? And then do you love your reasoning? And so many women want to wait until the kids are in school or until they're making more money or until, and they don't love that reason. That's a reason that's coming from fear. It's coming from scarcity. It's coming from anything other than their big picture, amazing goals that they want to reach. And I think that that's just kind of sad when we're stuck in that place and we don't get out of it. And so I don't want you to make your what do I offer decision from that place, from the past, from fear, from self-doubt. So really, as you're thinking about the questions I'm going to ask you next, I want you to open your mind. I want you to be in a belief space, and I want you to be willing to explore all of the options, even if they seem crazy and off the wall, to make the best decision. I also have a blog post full of potential examples and options of at-home businesses that I've seen out there. I'm going to link that in the show notes. I'm also going to link all of the questions that I ask you today so you can go back and reference if you forgot something. So let's dive into these questions. They are going to help you get the wheels turning. They're going to help you make this choice. Number 1, do you already have an idea? And if so, why aren't you doing it? So a lot of times people will come to me and be like, I have no idea what business I want to start. And then I ask them this question and they already know literally exactly what business they want to start. And a lot of times it's that self-doubt and that fear and that imposter syndrome that's holding them back from actually doing it. So don't let that be you. Number 2, what are some things that come naturally to you that other people struggle with? I love this question, and I think it is really difficult for us to answer for ourselves. But I want you to just think about, what are those things that just you think everyone knows how to do this? Like my husband is like this. He works on cars and he's just like, everyone could work on cars. Everybody could do this. And I'm like, no, I could not do that. And also I don't want to. But he just thinks anything that you want to know is on YouTube and you can just watch a video and you know how to do it. And I'm like, nope, that's not for everybody. Do not work on your own car if you hear this and do not know how to do that. But I felt like this myself, I feel like marketing is something that comes really naturally to me. Relationship building is something that comes really naturally to me. So these are the types of things that I teach my clients because it doesn't come naturally to a lot of other people. Number 3, is there a demographic you'd really love to work with or serve? I think this is a great question to reflect on as you're thinking about like a niche or something. Like say you're like a life coach or like a virtual assistant or something like that. If you want to get narrowed a little bit further down, think about, who do you want to work with? Who do you want to serve? And then the 4th question, is there a problem you have overcome and could help others overcome? Love this question. I think so many of us really have powerful stories of things that we've overcome, challenges that we've faced, ways that we have really moved beyond our circumstances or our problems or situations. This is totally the inspiration of my business now as a business coach for moms, after being that mom who was like, hello, I am highly educated and highly skilled and a great person, and maybe there's something that I could do with my life, but I'm not sure what it is. If I had me, I would have figured out my path a lot faster. I would have been able to become a life coach so much faster. So really thinking through, what's that problem that you've overcome and can you help other people overcome it? The 5th question, does your solution help in some way with health, relationships, or finances? So the reason that I ask this question is that these are the 3 areas people are most likely to spend money to fix. And what's funny is that I help people with finances, right? I'm a business coach. I help them make more money. And I have a lot of friends and clients with stories around the fact that they can't make as much as me or it's harder for them to make as much as me because they're selling something else. They are like all selling health and relationships, which are huge, important things in people's life. That story that only the money thing sells is false. So really erase that from your mind. If you're going to do health or relationships or something like that, don't go down this road of thinking, well, I can't make money because I'm not helping people make money. 6th question, are you highly skilled in something? I wish somebody would have asked me this because I had a master's in counseling and maybe that would have sparked something in me. So think about what you are highly skilled in or have a lot of training in. And maybe it's something that you did or currently do in the corporate world, and just a little shift to it could make it something that you could coach on or consult on. Number 7, is there a topic that people are always asking for your advice on? I love this question. I posted it in my Facebook group the other day and got such good answers from people. So think about what your answer is. What are those things that people are always asking you about, always trying to get your advice on? Number 8, what did you want to be when you grew up? I love this one too. It can also be kind of funny. I for sure wanted to be a veterinarian or an artist or a writer. And that was like all during 1 week of second grade. I had a lot of different ideas. And what I love about my business now is that I feel like I get to be like the right-hand woman in many different businesses. And so I get to be in many different industries, kind of like by default. And I love learning about all of the different things my clients do and all of their like insider knowledge and that kind of thing. So it doesn't necessarily have to be like, I wanted to be a marine biologist and I can't do that online and I'm also not trained in it. Like, we don't have to totally do that. But think about what are some of those things that drew you to that and take some inspiration from that. Question 9, is there a common thread that links all of your passions? This question can be very helpful or very crazy making. So there was a time where I was doing health coaching for a network marketing company. I was mentoring college women for an organization that I volunteer for. And I was thinking, how does this relate to my master's in counseling? So for those of you who are now in 2019 or beyond, when I am recording this, you are like, duh, those are all exactly leading you to what you're doing right now. And for me then in like 2014, when that was happening, I was like, what the heck is the through line between all of these things? And now I know. So give yourself a little grace if it's not obvious. Give yourself some time to think about what it potentially could be. Here's my last question for you. What are you doing when you lose track of time or feel most alive? This is going to help you tap into what brings on that flow state for you. What is that thing that you just love? That's maybe like your purpose for being. Okay, at this point, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed. This is most likely because you think that there is one right answer, and if you choose wrong, you'll never make money. Or you will, but you'll hate it and you'll be stuck. But I want to tell you a little secret. There is no right answer. Many of my clients come to me after building a solid base in something like virtual assisting or something like that, where they don't feel super passionate about it, but it's been working, and they're ready to pivot or change or make more money or do something different. And it's actually really simple to shift into something new once you have a base built up. I help people do this every day. If that is you, if listening to this has made you think maybe I want to pivot or change, we should chat, because I love that conversation. If you are still deciding, sit down, take no more than an hour to brainstorm all of the potential options, highlight the ones that make you most excited and seem the most fun and seem like they would be the most profitable, and then set a deadline to make a choice. By the time next week's episode is out, so next Wednesday, I want you to be committed, if you aren't already, to your business or your idea, because next week we're going to be walking through the next of the 5 things that you need to make full-time income as a mom. These are the 5 things that are most valuable when you're first starting out and when you're building momentum. We're talking about 1 per week. Today we were talking about clarity around what you offer and that having that really solid offer that you're presenting to the world, that skill that you're bringing to the world. And if you are ready to take your business seriously and take your business to the next level and maybe pivot or just explode with growth and momentum, we have got to chat, mama. That is what I do. I help moms make lots of money from home, doing something that they love, that lights them up, and I would love to help you. So if you're interested in that, we will hop on one of those super fun consult calls that I mentioned earlier. I'm going to walk you through some questions to see where you are right now and help you get some more clarity on where you want to go. I will share with you my expert opinion on what's holding you back from where you want to go, and we together will talk about your decisions about your next steps and what you're going to do about it. Obviously, one of those next steps could potentially be working together, but regardless of what you decide, you will walk away from this call with a clear vision of what is next and what is standing in your way. It will be so powerful for you. So if you're interested in that, hop on over to bit.ly/callsamantha, bit.ly/call Samantha, CALLSAMANTHA, and we will chat more about this. If you like this podcast, I want to invite you to coach with me over in my program, Mama to CEO. There's you, and there's the consistent income you want to make in your business, and I help you remove everything standing in between. It's lifetime access for mastering your marketing, sales, time, and everything else you need to have the business and life you really want. Whether it's making your first 1,000 or 100,000, I can help you do it. To join, go to mamatoceo.com, mamatoceo.com.